whatever the Windows form I'm going to have, that is not going to run on the web browser. First time I'm going to design my form, so it is new form. So I'll select new, and in that I want to select the project. When I click this demo application, I'm going to get the form name, that is form.css, and I'm going to get the program.css. So this is the main program name. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on 4th unit, and the topic name here is Introducing Windows Form. I'm your Revati ma'am, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, in my today's session, I'm going to deal with how to introduce Windows Form, in the sense how to create Windows Form in C# programming language. Anyway, dear student, let's see the agenda of today's session. So dear student, in my today's session, I'm going to explain Windows class which is supported by the C# programming. Along with that, I'm going to deal with simple Windows form application in C#. In the sense, how can I create my own Windows form? So these are the certain topic I'm going to deal in my today's session. And dear student, from the examination point of view, this topic is very important, and it's a short question. Now let's see what is Windows class. So dear student, if I want to create any application form, in the sense we are familiar with the application form in our daily life. Suppose if I want to fill any form, then I'm going to get the online application form. And how that online application form looks like, it's a electronic form, and I'm going to get the fields. In the sense, think that this is your examination form. Now this is the electronic examination form. So you have to enter the name. So here name is nothing but the label. Now I'm going to get the text box. Now address, I want to fill the address. So it is once again nothing but the label. Then I'm going to have the text box. And if I want to fill my gender, then I'm going to have the check box. And if I want to select the subject, I'm going to have the radio button. So these are the example for form. In the sense, form can have these kind of fields. Now, if I want to develop these kinds of electronic form, then I'm going to use C# Windows application form. Now, a Windows form application is an application. So, Windows form application, it's also example for any application form which is designed to run on a computer. So dear student, as I discussed, it's an electronic form. In the sense, if I want to run this form, what I required computer. It will be not run on web browser, because then it become web application. So dear student, whatever the Windows form I'm going to have, that is not going to run on the web browser. It's not going to run on the web browser, because if I'm going to run those applications on the web browser, then it is known as web application. And web application as well as Windows application, both are different application. A Windows Form application is one that runs on a desktop computer. So dear student, if I want to run any Windows application form, then what I required? I required computer system. There is nothing but the personal computer or laptop. A Windows Form application will normally have collection of controls such as label, text box, list box, etc. So dear student, if I consider online examination application form, and here I have the fields like name, address, gender, subject, so and so. And to design this kind of form, what I required? I required label, I required text box, I required checkbox, radio buttons, I required buttons. Okay, so here a Windows application form normally have the collection of controls. So what are the controls my electronic form can have? That is text box, label, then checkbox or list box, etc. And it provides the ability to create the application, configure the application, show the application, as well as manage the application. In the sense, by using C# programming, I can able to develop my own Windows application form. Even I can able to manage the Windows application form. Even I can able to control the Windows application form. Now dear student, Windows Form is a graphical user interface class. So dear student, in C# programming, if I want to design Windows application form, then what I want to do? I want to use all the graphical representation. In the sense, I want to use text box, labels, radio button, or checklist, or I can have checkbox, etc. So dear student, Windows Form is a graphical user interface that is nothing but the GUI class library which is present in the .NET framework. So dear student, when I install Visual Studio 2018 or 2013 or 2010 or 2022, okay, I'm going to include a bundle of .NET framework. When I install .NET framework, I'm going to get the plenty of Windows classes which is supported by the Visual Studio. Now, its main purpose is to provide an easier interface to develop the application for desktop as well as tablets. So dear student, if I consider the online examination form itself, okay, so it is a graphical user interface. In the sense, if I want to design and develop attractive user interface, then I'm going to use Windows Form, and it's also termed as WinForm. In simple, instead of telling Windows Form what's the name I can able to use, that is nothing but WinForm. And whatever the application, that is Windows application I'm going to develop, that is only for the desktop systems as well as tablets. Now, the application which are developed by using Windows Form are known as Windows Forms. That means if I design any application by using Windows Form, then it is known as Windows Form application that is mainly going to run on desktop computers. So dear student, if I want to design Windows Form, then I have to use Windows class. This Windows class provides classes, enumeration, as well as interfaces and delegates. By using all the built-in classes, interface and delegates, I can able to design my own application form. Now, dear student, let me to discuss how to create simple Windows form application. Think that you just want to say hi. Okay, for that I want to design one simple application form. And where you're going to get the form? So dear student, for that you can have any Visual Studio software. That is, you can use Visual Studio 2007 or 2013 or 2018 or 10 or 22. Okay, first what you have to do? You have to download this software and you have to install. Once the installation is done, then go to the start, and when you click start button, you're going to get the long list of programs which is installed in your desktop system or laptop. In that you have to select Visual Studio and particular version. Okay, now when you click that software, you're going to get this screen, and in this screen you have file or edit or view option. So dear student, suppose if you use 2022 and when you open this Visual Studio 2022, you're going to get the option create project or open project. Create project in the sense what? Create new project. Or if I want to open existing project, then I can able to click open project. Now dear student, if I consider this one, okay, this is the Windows form. Okay, this is the Windows form, and think that, okay, I want to design login form. And if I consider login form, what are the fields I'm going to have? That is username and password. And for username, what I want to do? I want to provide the text box. And if I consider password, once again, I want to provide text box so that user can able to input their username as well as password. Now, I want to handle this login form properly. For that, I want to define the control. And where I'm going to define the control? That is nothing but the login button. Okay, and this is the name given to the form. So, what is the name of this form? That is login form. So, dear student, this is the way I can able to design my form. And you may ask me where I'm going to get the text boxes as well as buttons. So, dear student, when you open Visual Studio software, on the left corner, you're going to have the option called Toolbox. And when you click Toolbox, you're going to get the long list of controls, and based on your requirement, you can able to select the controls. So this is the simple way used to design login application. Anyway, dear student, we were discussing about how to create new form. So to create new form, see here, I'm going to have the option called new, and in that I want to select project. In the sense, first time I'm going to design my form, so it is new form. So I'll select new, and in that I want to select the project. Now, once I done with new and selection of project, then see here, I'm going to get the long list of options. In the sense, By using .NET framework, I can able to design console application, class library, or Windows form application, or web services, that is nothing but the web application, etc. But here what I want to do, I just want to develop Windows form application. So what is the option I need to choose here? That is nothing but the Windows form application. And when I choose Windows form application, there itself I'm going to get the option in the sense where I want to save the file and what is the name of the file. In the sense, suppose if I want to give my own file name, then here I am going to specify the file name. For example, here it is demo application. Okay, and if I want to specify the extension, then I can able to specify the application. So, what are the things I am going to do here? First, I am going to choose the form, what kind of application I am designing. For example, if it is console application, then I have to select console application. But here I am designing Windows form application. For that, I am going to choose Windows form. At the same time, I want to specify the name of the project. Even I want to specify the location where I have to store the project. Now, I got this form. Okay, what are the steps? First, go to new, in that select project. Okay, once the project selection is done, then I'm going to get the list of options. In that I want to select what kind of application I require. After that, what I want to do, I want to specify the name. After that, I want to specify where I want to store the application. After that, I'm going to get this form. And what is the form name? It is form 1. And the actual form is going to look like this. Okay, fine. Now, see here. For example, this is the left hand side. I'm going to get the solution demo application. So, what is my application name? That is nothing but the demo application. Inside that, I'm having the form. And what is the form name? That is nothing but form1.css. And I'm going to have the main program. So, dear student, what is my application name? That is nothing but the demo application. And when I click this demo application, I'm going to get the form name, that is form.css, and I'm going to get the program.css. So, this is the main program name. Okay, that is start building your Windows form application. Now, dear student, now I want to design my application form. For example, I'm going to discuss about how to create login form, right? Fine. Now, see, this is the form, okay, and what's my form name? That is form 1. Initially, what's my form name? That is form 1. And what are the things I required? I required 2 label. That is for username and password. Now, to enter username, I must have the text box, and to enter password, I must have text box. Now, I'm going to have the button. So, what is the button name? That is login. So, this is my control button. Okay, now, where I'm going to get all these fields, that is nothing but labels, buttons, text box. So what I want to do, see here, if I consider the software, that is Visual Studio, on the left hand, you're going to have toolbox. You're going to have the toolbox. Okay, when I click the toolbox, you're going to get the long list of options. Okay, you're going to get the long list of options. For example, if you require buttons, then what you have to do, just click that button and drag and drop. And if you want text box, click the text box, drag and drop. If you want checkbox, combo box, or dialog box or checked list box. Okay, these are the certain fields or controls I'm going to get under toolbox. Now, dear student, what is my next step? So here in this step, you will now add a label to the form. In the sense, okay, I just want to display only hello world, and where I'm going to display in my form. So what I will do, I'm going to click toolbox and I'm going to get list of option. In that I'm going to select only label. Why it is label? Because I just want to display hello world. See here, I'm going to get the label option, and what I will do, I'm going to click this label and just drag and drop. Okay, after that, see here, I'm going to get the output. So this is the output of this form. And what is my form name? That is login. And see here, I have the label 1. Now, suppose if I want to change the name of the label, or if I want to give my own information or my own name, so what I want to do, keep the mouse here and right click the mouse. So you're going to get the long list. Okay, you're going to get this list. In the sense, when you right click the button, in that I want to select the property. Okay, and when I select the property, you're going to get the long list of the property. And you can able to change the name of the label, ID of the label, color of the label, the text on the label, style, etc. Okay, so where I'm going to get all those things under property. So dear student, think that I want to type hello world, and where I want to type, where I want to display hello world, it's on the label. Okay, so what I will do in the property, okay, I'm going to have the name of the label field. Okay, name field. So what I want to do, I want to type hello world. Okay, when I type hello world, okay, the hello world is going to appear on the label. And when I run the form, I'm going to get the output hello world. Okay, so I'm going to get the output hello world. And see here, this is the output of this program. In the sense, I just want to design simple Windows application to display hello world. And if I want to display, or if I want to create login information, then what are the fields I want to have? That is label, that is for username and text box, and for password one more label and one more text box. And to provide the control, I must have buttons. Anyway, dear student, how we can develop login application. Now, how to design login form, that is going to discuss in my next session. Anyway, dear student, in my next session, I'm going to deal with adding controls to a form, group box, label control, as well as text control. So these are the certain topic I'm going to discuss in my next session. Anyway, dear student, let's meet in the next session with more information about Windows form. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.